Wayne Gretzky personalized that. That he made that moment about him by implying that I've got more than you. And that speaks to the man's ego. And I'm glad he's an old-looking woman, drunk piece of shit.
Dude, wow, you've had something personal.
No, I haven't.
No,
I
okay.
just don't.
That's harsh, though. Those are harsh. Dude, no, that's harsh.
No, he looks like an old woman. That's not harsh. That's not my fault. That's nature.
I'm gonna be honest. You're sounding harsh. Harsh.
I hate when I get negative. Yeah. But he started it.
Let's move on. Because Gretzky's the king.
But numbers don't lie.
Yeah, he's the king, dude, and he does the charitable work and the donations. And I know people at TD Bank and the things and signing autographs for kids.
Putting a positive bow on it. He's numbers don't lie. He's the greatest hockey player ever.
But he's also good. He's listen. I know personally.
Good. I'm happy that you have that experience with him. Long may that continue.
But I just think, like Bilal, like how many radio shows have you hosted?
Wait,
no, I'm just joking. I'm just trying to. I think it's funny.
So that's mean-spirited, and that's. Oh, so I thought we were moving on. Are we moving on, or are we coming back?
We're going to move on. We got Jeff Abraham.
Yeah, finally. Come on, Jeff.
He has a meeting too now, so I think all our clients are making huge.
What do you mean,
deals.
Jeff? I got to talk to Stuart for another half an hour?
Oh yeah.
Todd for another?
Where's Jeff?
I just got a note right now that he's not available.
Oh, he's not available?
Just now. So I must have had something great happen. That's how I'm going to look at it.
Good.
Yeah. So he's never done that.
That's a big meeting.
Yeah.
Who is it? Who's Jeff?
That's a great company. This guy lives in a mansion.
Nice.
That's how you know the company's doing well.
That's imagine his toilet.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Make the sounds you would make on his toilet.
And that's, I can't even go to those. Those are for two people to hear. The toilet and my wife. Sometimes at the same time. Oh man, it's not even false. Okay. Because we get funky. No.
Let me put you on hold here. I need a moment with the toilet.
But what I was saying about Jeff is like they have a product. People question products like Permessive.com. It's a spray for your dick that makes you last longer in the bedroom. So like people, oh yeah, is it a real thing? Like some people are skeptical. And I'm like, the way you judge if it's a real product is that it's working based on sales. Like you could only scam it for so long. If it didn't work, it would get figured out.
It would catch up to itself.
It would catch up.
Not.
And this is solely what Jeff does. And he lives in drives a Bentley and lives in a mansion. So I'm like, that's because his product is good.
It's hard to deny him.
Yes.
See?
So, and all I'm saying is if you if someone if you I want to know my management team of a company I invest in lives in mansions.
Well, it could. Yeah, I'm not suggesting anything, but sometimes people that live in mansions are there. I'm not talking about Jeff, but under unscrupulous circumstances.
Yes.
So we don't live in this beautiful world where people that are good get rewarded and they get their mansions. It doesn't always work that way. There's some nasty mofos out there. Wayne Gretzky. No, I'm sure he's a wonderful person.
Well, yours are hearsay.
No, they're not hearsay. As I said,
But you weren't there, so they're always hearsay.
But they're from people whose I value, and they said, this. And they're not telling me on a radio. They're not telling me to be sensationalistic. They're telling me because, that was horrible.
But maybe that was their perception because they expected something better.
No, but I just think it's perfect that you shared that analogy or not analogy, that experience, and it kind of spoke to the man.
Yeah,
you actually gave me more
ammo.
Yeah.
That's a great story in my opinion. That's a positive story.
It could have been better. If I could punch up that story, it would have been him saying, "What's it like to be the greatest athlete ever?" To step out of his own ego, to be in that moment, but as opposed, he did. Oh, come on!
There was no
How can you
ego.
not see that? Bless you.
And by the way,
here we go.
Okay, Stuart Francis, Honest Farewell Church. Check him out at Yuck Yucks tonight. You can chirp him if you.
You're gurning as you say that. You're not.
You know what people don't know, and people can never know how they would become. Under two different reasons.
Yeah.
If you start a business, you never know where your business is going to go. And sometimes if your business goes to the point where you become an absolute billionaire, like a billionaire, and a billion. I've really weirdly hung out with a couple of billionaires who are very good people, but I don't think the human condition can ever predict how you might change or be if you ever became that. I firmly believe that. No matter your background, your upbringing, your education, no one can predict what it would be like to be that wealthy with that amount of power and how that could take over for you.
But you're saying they're good people, so that's good. They were always good people. Success doesn't change someone; it reveals them.
It reveals them.
It gives them the power to then assert their personalities. And if you're a good person, guess what?
It'll come out. And I hope. But I'm saying, I don't think we could predict that. I think that if you go and get this great voice job and then it becomes the biggest show ever, then you buy the show and then the show becomes a world tour and then all of a sudden, Stuart Francis is a billionaire. I think everyone is capable of change for the worse or better.
Of course they are.
But I think you can't predict it based on money.
Yeah.
You can never know.
I'm not. Who's doing that? I was.
No. And what I'm getting at is when you're the greatest athlete when you're Tiger Woods, when you're Michael Jordan. There's not a lot of great stories about Michael Jordan out there. There's not a lot of great stories, obviously, about Tiger Woods out there.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone can predict how they might be in those similar environments because those similar environments are so fucking rare to have the world know who you are.
But it's not the prediction of how we would be in those situations.
Yeah.
It's what we've actually heard from people in those.
But what I'm saying is, if your hypotheticals are true,
they're not hypothetical. They actually happen.
Well,
as did yours. You sat on the bench. You
Yeah.
didn't make that. That's not a hypothetical. That's an actual account, first-hand account.
Fair enough.
Mine weren't first-hand accounts, but they're.
Well, mine's a first-hand account, which is why it's not hypothetical.
Yeah.
So
mine aren't.
But they are based on my knowledge of it because I don't know the source.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is that you or I or Bilal, if we ever became the best at something in the world with all the world's eyes on you, how you might not maybe develop this ego or this like there's only so much time one human being has for everybody.
Yeah.
And maybe if you self-medicate yourself or are grumpy at times and maybe you're just having an off day, but yet everywhere you went that day, thousands of people followed you. You might be kind of grumpy to people too.
Good point.
Yeah. You never know. And
I've
then
not
you might
walked in their moccasins. That's the First Nation kind of adage. So you can't judge someone until you walk in their moccasins.
Yeah, and
but we can. Whether or not
that
that judgment is accurate,
I literally
remains to be seen.
I think that would be next to impossible to be good to people, and I'll tell you why. I know a couple of YouTube stars who have blown up, and I've watched the duress these people go under, and the reason why they're going under it is they get 4 or 5 million subscribers. It's such a bratty, catty, gross world out there. The comments, the evil things that people say and do, and the terrible comments. And I've watched them, like they get into they become so insular and protected and paranoid and weird, to be honest. Like, weird's not a good word. But just like, they're scared of shit, and then they it's fame's
But that will have
fucked
all
up.
happened too much too soon. If you're saying YouTube, so that would suggest overnight they've got that.
That's
Whereas the
part of it.
Wayne Gretzky's, the Michael Jordans, all their life they've been the greatest at all those levels. So life has prepared them to have these encounters.
Can it ever prepare you?
Wayne Gretzky probably doesn't get thousands of people following around anymore, and that might speak to why he might be a bit of a curmudgeon when it comes to that kind of stuff. The life has dealt him the hand it's dealt him, and I don't think he probably, and I'm speculating here, probably doesn't think he gets the accolades he deserves on a daily basis.
Really?
We've moved on.
No, dude,
Yeah,
you're so wrong.
I don't know if I am. No,
I see him. He just had an event the other day, sold out. People lined
because
up.
people
Gretzky's.
went. Of course, people went there. But on a day-to-day, so one of these stories, he was on a golf course supporting his student.
I don't want to know the story.
I'm not going to tell you the story.
Okay.
But so it was. It didn't need to go negative, and it went completely negative. And I've heard a couple other stories like that. So all it takes, I've got a fan base. I've got people that meet me, that meeting me means something to them.
I know.
And I have been nothing but nice. And that's what everybody, the takeaway, and it's easier to be nice.
I would say that 98% of people would say that Shapiro's a pretty good guy when you meet me. Like, fun and always like, I ask people what they do, their names and all this kind of stuff. And, I'm not saying I'm super famous or anything, but the people that I do meet and know me through the show and social media and stuff. But I have a couple of encounters, and like one even happened recently, where I could tell someone just thought I was a douchebag and a dick, and I wasn't meaning to be, and I'm like, oh fuck, I was kind of worried about it. I'm like, I'm gonna go tell someone I was a dick or whatever. And like I sensed it at the time, but I also didn't care because I knew in my heart of hearts I wasn't being malicious at that time, so it didn't even matter.
But they brought a negative energy to the situation,
That's
and
what
you
I'm
kind
saying.
of you feed it off that. So you get
exactly
what
what
you give.
happened.
So they gave you negativity, and you kind of you weren't comfortable with it, but you gave it back. So they kind of dictated that moment.
No, you're right, and I just being the best at something in the world, like fame, you know, everyone I've known who's become really famous is like, dude, this shit is tough. And it's hard to feel bad for them because they're worth hundreds of millions of dollars and shit. But, I mean, you don't get a life. You know what I love about hockey players? Like most hockey players anyway. Maybe not Wayne, but a lot of them are tired of, like, you know, they're all small town kids, a lot of them, you know, and they were tired of those small town. I love that shit.
Open up a bar,
yeah,
or something like that.
How
I
cool
think
is that?
glorious. Yeah, it's good, and they get all the kudos that they need, you know, every Friday night when they go in there, and it's lovely. You place a great importance on money. I'm getting from you, and that doesn't buy happiness. Like I could tour another 2 or 3 times. And make a real big wedge of cash, but I don't want to. Don't have kids.
So I think that's the difference.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, because for me, I could wear flip-flops and a ball cap the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I want to help out my kid with a little bit of a head start.
That's
so
good.
whenever I think about money or hustling or, you know, like being a
You're
businessman
thinking
or
for 2
investing,
people or how many children.
it's legit. I only
I get
have
that.
one now.
I get that.
It's
But-
legit. We might have made one on that toilet the other day, actually. I'm just trying to think. But,
But no, you're thinking on behalf of their
yeah,
future
just,
and that stuff. So,
you know, and
hard not to.
but that might be a rude assumption as well, thinking that a head start with, you know, giving your kid something in a will or whatever one day that would even help. Maybe it does it, you know. So maybe that's also a wrong thought of mine, but it's something that any kid I know started with something else and they're doing better than most, you know. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. But you can give them so much more than those kind of material things, which you're providing for. But and obviously,
Oh
that's
no, my kid's day trading. He just he's 3 years old.
his money with you, isn't it? He's his father's son.
He's just like giving me 4 letters of the alphabet. I go and buy that symbol, and we'll see how it does.
Yeah.
I should try that one day. That'd be funny.
Oh man.
I just put like $20. It's your future. It's your RSPs, kid. You fucked it up. And he's like, Dad, where'd all the money go? Here's the old videos.
And you can say, because you can send him a text, say, I saw some of your traits today. We're going to talk later on.
I feel like singing a Cat Stevens song.
I don't know which one, though.
It's not time to
Don't
make a
get in.
change. Just relax. Take it easy. You're still young. That's your fault. There's so much you have to know. Find a girl. Settle down. Oh, sorry.
Country on this, right?
Cat Stevens kind of country. Oh, shit. Okay.
Yusuf Islam. That's his name.
Oh
Yeah.
I love Cat Stevens.
Oh, fuck. Was he great? He was great.
I didn't know most of his songs were religious.
Yeah.
I just love them. There's a great deal of religious kind of connotations, or what you best describe as religious songs, but I just love them because they're just so beautiful.
Best Cat Stevens song.
Here
Pull
we
it
go.
up, pull out.
Yep.
It's my favorite of all the Cat Stevens songs because it's pertinent.
Where will the children
to-
play?
No, I like Ride on the Peace Train.
Oh,
The Peace
ding,
like
ding,
the,
ding,
that song
ding,
and the message in that song. It's so. Listen to this.
That's the one. Teaser and the Fire Cat. That's the album I got given to me.
Oh, I don't know if this is old school music, man. This is a beautiful message for people. Wayne, are you listening? This is Trump's endorsement song. Is that how it goes?
That was an interesting career because
Keep
he
going back.
is this gorgeous singer. Then he just quit it to pursue his religious beliefs.
Yeah.
That's wonderful, unheard of in this day and age where you're not selling albums or going on tours, not kind of stuff. But he's now come back.
He came back.
to sing. But he went on one of the late night shows, and he sang a song that wasn't one of his. It was almost like Happy Birthday or something. I don't know which late night show it was, but boy, he could have done so many of his classic hits and won over a new audience. But like Waltzing Matilda, or he did something, and it was bordering on peculiar that he would do that. That you would make that
Artists,
song choice.
Artists are interesting that way. Music artists, I find. There's I actually listened to an interview recently on Stern with the Smashing Pumpkins, and the Pumpkins forever there was a lot of fighting within the band and stuff, and then they find they're doing this like tour now. They're going back and they've agreed for the first time in a while to play their hits, like to play, and they didn't do that forever. It's like with the Stones. Like,
I hate that.
I know, you want to hear the best.
You know why we're here. Sing those songs.
But is that true to their art? They want,
but do that in your own. Do the story and release that. But on tour, you're beholden to the audience, and you sing the songs that got those people. They'll put those bums in the seats. You owe it to them to sing the classics. No, I just don't want to sing that song anymore. Doesn't mean anything to me. It meant something back then. No, we're here for that song. Sing the fucking song.
I think I saw a Dave Matthews concert recently. He sung mostly his hits, which I was surprised by, and I absolutely it was amazing. Yeah. It took me back to my childhood.
Exactly. That's why you showed nostalgic. Up. You were hoping for that, not the new. Because you'll go to a big concert, and the artist will say, this is a new song from the new album, and you can literally see thousands of people get up. That's the time they're going to get a hot dog or beer or go to the toilet. You probably go and sit down and have a nice pee at that point. No, too soon. But that speaks to me. That's if you're, instead of them, here's a classic from her first album that everybody says. But yeah, whenever they say it's a new song that's going to probably boil the tits off you, go have a break and come back and we'll play the classic. But a lot of these artists that just won't do it, it does my head in.
I'm worried about this call. You're on air, Stuart Francis.
Uh-oh. Why me?
Yes,
we did. We missed you tremendously.
Who is it?
Who
are you? I want to miss you, but I need to know who you are.
It's a common hang-up.
Oh, is it really?
There was a much more productive and positive call than we've had in years past.
Hey, guys, did you miss me?
Yeah, normally he just calls and says, "You guys suck."
Oh, good.
So you made a difference.
Oh, cheers, buddy.
That's long gone.
That's okay. He's still listening.
He's Gretzky.
No, we don't miss you.